common way of life.
For 70 years, the European People's Party Group has been a cornerstone of EU democracy, standing for European values, making tough decisions to build a people's Europe.
In the long history of the EPP Group, it was clear that EPP means pro-Europe, means building up a strong Europe.
Then, as now, the EPP Group is the largest force in the European Parliament.
We are the party of the European way of life, when it is about freedom, about democracy, about rule of law.
I see the European People's Party as the bringing together of like-minded politicians, movements, political parties that at its very core were four fundamental pillars: freedom, prosperity, security, and solidarity, all while placing the individual at the center of each political decision.
We are the party of the people, by the people, and for the people.
The EPP Group began with the creation of the European Parliament 70 years ago as the Common Assembly, part of the European coal and steel community after World War II. Said the Schuman Declaration, to make war between member states not merely unthinkable, but materially impossible. Francesco Fresi was an Italian government aide at the time. He speaks in the hall named after Alcide de Gasperi, an assembly president and a member of the EPP family.
Il a fallu non seulement qu'on crée l'Assemblée commune, mais pour la faire fonctionner, c'était un problème parce qu'on parlait de langages différents, des gens qui avaient une culture différente, traditions différentes.
That took leadership, also to face down a Soviet regime that dominated Eastern Europe at the time.
Remember, 1983, EPP members were instrumental to adopt the resolution on occupation of Baltic states. For us, behind the Iron Curtain in occupied Latvia, that was so emotional to know that we are not forgotten.
And not to forget, even today.
And that's why EPP considers that it is important to invest in the security and defense.
Building a united Europe meant giving a voice to Europeans, with the first popularly elected European Parliament in 1979. Among them, the EPP Group's Hans-Gert Pöttering, later president.
It was really great when I entered the hemicycle of the European Parliament the 17th of July 1979. It was for me like entering paradise. As the youngest member of the EPP Group at that time, was just great for me. It was a great adventure.
An adventure for the EU itself, adding new member countries in a single market and a social market economy, most with a single currency. Backed by key leaders of the EPP family like Group Leader Joseph Daul working with Chancellor Angela Merkel and Commission President Jean-Claude Juncker. The single market and the euro unlocked Europe's potential. From coal to cargo ships to data, Europe built its success by breaking down barriers.
I can still remember when I was really a small child to pay with. In Austria we call it shilling. You don't have to think anymore about buying something in another country in the European Union.
That single market depends on the free movement of people, goods, and services inside the EU's open internal borders and secure external borders. Peace and prosperity must come hand in hand with quality of life for all Europeans. That means decent income, healthcare, education, transport and communications, and work-life balance. COVID-19 was a challenge that Europe overcame together with common vaccines. An example of how the EU can make technology a game changer, make research a priority to improve our lives. Looking to the future, it takes strong leadership for the EU to make its digital and green transition.
In order for us to have a green transition, we need the digital transformation to be effective. EPP has been driving this digital transition by proposing sensible legislation that drives innovation.
We have to give more power to young Europeans, to young European voters, and that's why we are really pushing strongly on many different fronts, including on Erasmus.
It's all about tough choices to build a people's Europe.
It's the job of EPP, of bridge builders, to bring things together and to create certainty, to create safety, to create a positive atmosphere for the future. And protecting European way of life means to build up strong EPP.
Laimīgu, priecīgu dzimšanas dienu!
Alles Gute unserer Europäischen Volkspartei-Fraktion.
Happy birthday, EPP Group!